So it's finally over. It's finally over. And boy, oh boy, you done did it now. How do you manage, let me mute the computer. How do you manage for in an 8 episode season, how do you manage to make the last 2 episodes the worst in the entire season? I thought episode 3 was bad. Episode 7 is 3, but 6 times worse. All right, we'll get into it. Let me go down on my notes. Just like in 2 episodes, they ruined the last 2 like good characters. It all sucks. All of it sucks. Everything in this show sucks. Everything, all of it. But first, since this is such a special occasion, I've got a little thing here. I don't have a fancy like drink mixer, so I'm gonna just use like a protein shaker. I've got a little mixer here. It's for Cuban mojito. So let's get a little whiff of that. Yeah, smells like mojito. Just pour that in there. But it's not just some cheap like Costco, mojito, right? I got a little something special here. Havana Club, aged 3 years, straight from Cuba. Look at that right there. That's from Cuba. I went to Cuba and got this myself. Okay, so we're gonna celebrate with some aged 3 year rum. Okay. I rarely drink this because it's special, and I don't know when I'm gonna go back to Cuba and get some more. So I gotta hold out. And then I got these Carnival Cruise shot glasses, which are ginormous. Let's have some fun. Okie dokie. Artichoke. Oh yeah. Takes me back to 2018. But that's a story for another time. I want to talk about that. Ooh-wee. Cruise of 18 was wild. Could be better. It's not a real mojito, It's a mojito. It's a drink that tastes like a mojito, And it's not perfect. Let's start with episode 7. All right. Okay, where do I even begin? Episode 7 starts a little bit before episode 3, the events of episode 3, right? So it's a flashback episode, which we'll get to it at the end of this episode. But this episode did not need to be like this. The new information that's provided in this episode didn't need to be an entire full episode. All right, this could have been a flashback within another episode, but we'll get to it. So the first thing I noticed is that the Jedi land on this planet, Brendok, right? And they're trying to figure out why is this planet bad? It was destroyed and now it's got life on it. So what the fuck is going on, right? The first thing I know is that the Jedi Masters have armor under their robes, right? But it's not a full set of armor like the Clone Wars. It's just the greaves where the hands are. They just have armor on their hands and presumably on their forearm, But it's like, where's the rest of the armor? Why only here? Why only here? That doesn't make any sense. So after they've surveyed a little bit of the planet where the Wookie Jedi has a metal detector for some reason, they sit at a campfire, and Master Forehead is a Padawan now. So he became a master in 16 years, which is, I guess that's something. Obi-Wan became a master pretty quickly, so that's something. Forehead guy is a Padawan here, and he's belly aching, like just bitching and moaning. He wants to go home, and because they've been on Brendok for weeks. But at the same time, Jedi Master Trinity and Soul have not told him, like they haven't explained to him why he's here, why this mission is so important until now, where they explain there might be a vergence in the Force here, a very powerful Force nexus or something, right? because this planet was destroyed and now it's back. So something is crazy is going on with the Force here. Why they're just telling him this, I have no idea. But the fact that he doesn't understand why this is so important, like, is pretty crazy. So the next day, Soul takes his loud-ass speeder, rides through the forest, parks it, and then just so happens to stumble upon OSHA and May under the Bunta tree, the yellow tree that they were under in episode 3 at the beginning. Just so happens to stumble upon them in this big-ass forest. What are the chances? Absolutely insane. So Soul follows them, like Mother Coral, like shows up and she's like, "What are you doing out here? Come back!" And Soul tails them all the way up into the mountain village, right? And then gets all the way inside, and he sees the two girls like using the Force against Mother Anastasia, right? And then on the way, like, he's like, I have got to report this to the other Jedi. And on the way out, he's just loud as fuck.
I expect more from you.
Right, just loud. Just decides sneak mode disactivated or deactivated. Disactivated. Sneak mode deactivated, right? And then Mother Coral was like, what was that noise? And then she just walks off to check what that noise is, which was why there was that scene where she like looks around to see what the fuck was going on in the reactor. But I thought it was going to be a setup for her being the person behind the reactor going off. But, oh boy, I was wrong. I was wrong about quite a few things. So Soul goes back to the Jedi and he's like, we gotta go talk to these witches because they got some crazy shit going on, right? They get to the elevator. They had the elevator that Mother Coral and the twins took the previous day, and they break in. They legitimately broke in, right? They spliced in, right? And they treat it as if it's kind of like a sneaking mission at first, and then when they get inside, they just walk around like they own the fucking place. So I don't even know what the fucking point of acting like you were sneaking around was. What was the point of that? If you were just gonna walk around like you own the goddamn place, what was the point? Like they effectively like don't show any sign of anxiety of being ambushed or like attacked or coming across a trap or some shit. They're just like, oh, we're just here. We're just big chilling, you know, being chilling. Like, what the fuck? So something interesting happens here is that if you recall in episode 3, Master Trinity was like, oh, we thought this planet was uninhabited. And then Anastasia is just like, oh, I highly doubt that you actually believe this place was uninhabited. But the reality is that no, they genuinely believed that this planet was uninhabited.
And there's no one here, and if we were going to find something, we probably would have found it by now.
So it's actually kind of interesting that the Jedi weren't lying when they said that. Now, something absolutely bizarre happens here, which is kind of the word of the series is just bizarre, right? Is that during this conversation, while Anastasia is having like a conversation with Trinity, she's like legitimately mind raping Padawan Forehead during this conversation. She like gets into his head and starts having a conversation with him in his own head, right? Using the Force, which is just some bona fide de facto dark side shit, okay? I don't know how you could like persuade me that wasn't a dark side move to get in his head and start like, you know, whispering all these shit in his ear and shit. So she starts going like, oh, I know what you desire. I know what you desire. I know what you want, right? And I was like, oh, okay. So Jedi Master Forehead or Jedi Padawan Forehead, he wanted some pussy. He wanted, you know, he wanted to get some of that snooky, you know, but he can't because he's a Jedi, so he can't get none of that side action, you know. But then she just straight up says, you want to go home. That's it. He just wanted to go home. He didn't want no pussy. He didn't want to get married. He didn't want to love anybody. He just wants to go home. That's the carrot that she's dangling like on a string. Is you want to go home. That's it. You just want to go home. You've been gone for weeks. And you want to go back to Coruscant. That's it. That's the forbidden fruit, the forbidden desire that she's dangling on a carrot, dangling on a string like a carrot for a rabbit. Like, you can't be serious. But the thing is that like he didn't relinquish this information willingly. She just kind of just pulled it out and just said, oh, so this is why you want this is what you want. You want to go home. I could give it to you. Like, We're just mind reading, like just straight up mind reading. But I said it perfectly here. Well, actually, I'm gonna save this for later because Padawan Forehead does some shit that like later in the episode that requires me saving this note for later. All right. So then Jedi Master Trinity says the stupid ass line. You know, the stupid ass line about
You cannot deny that Jedi have the right to test potential Padawans. With your permission, of course.
it showed up again, which means that at the bare minimum, someone had to see that line be delivered 4 times. 4 times. That line, they saw that line, they heard that line be delivered 4 times, and they let it stay in the fucking show. Okay, so this is where I saw the flaws in trying to make this entire like flashback sequence an entire episode. Was that I realized that the only reason this like mind rape thing is shoved into this conversation in this scene was because if it wasn't for this sequence of like Anastasia trying to get into Master Forehead or Padawan Forehead's head, his forehead head, it would literally just be the scene we already saw in episode 3 just replayed again. So the only reason this entire conversation is here with Mother Anastasia and Forehead is so that we're not watching the same scene from episode 3, which we didn't even need this. We didn't need this. It makes, like I said, it makes Forehead look really fucking lame. But it's just, oh, you just want to go home, don't you? You want the little carrot on the stick? You want to go home? You want to go home? Don't you? Want to go home? You've been gone for a few weeks. You a little homesick, buddy? All right, so they go back to the ship, and they say, like, Master Trinity says the twins are too old to test, and it's like, so that's not a new rule. Like, kids being too old to, like, be Padawans is not a new thing. So why even entertain the idea? And then Master Trinity says something fucking ridiculous, like,
Testing the twins is not something we can take seriously.
if testing the kids was not something you were going to seriously entertain, why even go along with it? Just say, you know what, never mind. Then call the council and ask for further guidance as you send Wookie Jedi to do recon and keep tabs on the witches. Like, they have no intention of actually seriously testing the kids. So why even, like, entertain it? Because what happens in the show is that she says, we're just stalling for time. We're going to test the kids to stall for time as we consult with the council on what to do. So why not just not test them? You're just wasting your time. So then Master Trinity just straight up says, oh, the Coven of Witches, they're strange. And it's just like, it feels like that line was there just to justify Anastasia being like, oh, the world, the galaxy thinks we're strange. And it's like, it's not really a justification for her. It's more so just confirmation of what the weird shit we saw in episode 3.
You are on the brink of extinction!
The witches are strange. It's not like prejudice. They're just weird bitches. They're weird. That howl like monkeys and shit under the dual full moons. There's 2 moons and they're howling under it like animals. And you want to tell me they're not fucking strange? I still cannot get over that. I'm so glad we didn't see that scene again in this episode. So then there's this moment where Trinity and Soul argue about, the kids. And Soul is like, oh, I feel like I have this connection to OSHA. And then Trinity's like, oh, don't get attached to her just because you don't have a Padawan. And it's like, I don't think there's any evidence that Soul has been longing for a Padawan. That kind of just came out of nowhere. Like, in all honesty, in this show, up until episode 8, Soul comes across as a guy that just wanted to do the right thing. In all honesty, in episode 8, he kind of comes across as a guy that just wants to do the right thing. He thought he was doing the right thing, which, speaking of which, we will get to. Master Torben saying we thought we were doing the right thing. No, we'll get to that. So then the next day, the witches show up with the girls and they get tested. This time they show like May getting tested, right? And it shows Torben, Padawan Forehead. He asks May, "Can I take a blood sample?" Right? But if you remember in episode 3, he just takes OSHA's arm and just stabs her without asking. Why did you ask May but not OSHA? That was weird.
I just need to take a sample of your blood. Is that okay?
Ow.
Okay, so this part is actually like a doozy, right? Is that May lies on the test, right? And like she was taught the lie. It's genuinely hard to believe that this is what I saw, but she was told to lie on the test by her mothers, right? Or in the elderly lady or whatever the fuck. She was taught to lie on the test. Then she spills the fucking beans on how their coven of witches works and what the ascension is, and she just starts spilling all of the fucking tea, just explaining everything, when, mind you, in episode 3, she said the Jedi were evil.
Jedi are bad. The Jedi are good.
So why are you explaining the ins and out of your coven?
Ascension must be very important to include a marking like that.
Mama says Ascension means OSHA and I will lead the coven. That's why I have a marking like Mama.
Even as a fucking kid, May is wildly inconsistent as a character. So a little bit of filmmaking happens that I think is, it's worth pointing out. Is that when OSHA gets tested, we get that scene of Soul saying, you must have the courage to say what you want, right? But this time, instead of it focusing on Soul and OSHA, you get a close-up of Trinity and Master Forehead, or Padawan Forehead. I keep saying Master Forehead, but Padawan Forehead.
But you must have the courage to say what you want.
And I think that implies that Trinity does not approve of this approach, while Torben is just like, I wish my master gave a fuck about what I wanted, which I think that was interesting, but it doesn't go anywhere. So that it's kind of pointless to even like have that in the show if you're not going to go anywhere with it. Hold on, there's something here. I said very odd choice of comedy here. I'm just going to play the clip, whatever it was, but I just said Forehead really wants to go home, I guess. So there was a really weird comedy bit. I'll just have Isabella put it in here.
They say that we have interfered too much already.
Will they let us come home at least?
No.
So Soul is like, we got to take these girls because like are not living a kosher life, It's not Kino. It's not really it's not really $1.50, It's not really great, right? And Trinity actually has a really good point. You can't just uproot these girls' lives just because you don't agree with the way that they live, Because at this point, the Jedi Council has went like, nah, don't mess with them girls. Just continue your mission. Don't fuck with them witches. They're weird, but they're not bothering anybody, right? And Soul is like, no, we gotta do something. And Trinity is right. Is like, just because they're weird and smell like cheese doesn't mean you fucking stop what they're doing and try to steal their children. It's not right. This is when shit goes absolutely sideways. Like, shit just goes fucking like starboard, all right? I don't know how else to describe it. It 90 degrees. It just takes a hard left turn, right? Padawan Forehead takes a look at a data pad, and he's like, their M count, they don't say midichlorians, by the way. They just say, he says their M count is off the charts. This is proof that that this is a virgins in the Force and that they were born with the Force or some shit, right? And this absolute crackhead just bolts to his speeder, hops on. He says, those girls are our ticket home. If we can get them, if we could grab them, bring them to the council, we can go home.
Don't you see? We just need proof of a virgins, and those girls are the proof. This is our ticket home.
Let me repeat that. I'm not going to repeat it. I'm actually just going to summarize what just happened there. What the goal of Master or Padawan Forehead is. He is so ready to go home. He hates Jedi Master Wookiee's cooking so goddamn much that he's willing to abduct 2 children. What are we doing here? What are we doing? He is so homesick. He's about to kidnap 2 children. And that's what kicks off everything you're about to hear. I cannot believe that this is the birthing point of the absolutely just retarded shit you're about to hear. Okay? So at this point in OSHA's perspective, May has already been taken away by Mother Coral. So we get what exactly happened after Mother Coral took May away. Like, May's like having a hissy fit, and then Mother Coral pulls her, and she basically said, actually, I'm just gonna play what she says.
I don't want to go.
You want to stop OSHA from leaving? Then stop her.
So Mother Coral basically just sicks May on OSHA. Just sicks her on OSHA. She just says, you're angry, fucking use it. Go be a menace to society, basically. What the fuck kind of family am I watching, bro? And then, so the Jedi are mobilizing on the mountain fortress, and there is apparently a splinter faction of witches that don't want OSHA to go with the Jedi, and they have like this absolutely tismy meltdown where they are screeching and hollering to the sky, and they're being led by a child. They're being led by like a 12-year-old May. I got nothing. I'm speechless. I don't really know how to... Like, there just becomes like tangent time. I gotta go on like a little tangent. There just comes a point where you just lose any and all like extravagant ways of describing how stupid something is. I can only be so creative about explaining how stupid something is. After a certain point, I'm just beyond words. And then the stupid shit we're going to get into in episode 8, I don't know what to tell. I'm just going to be real with you. I don't know if I can ever, I don't know if I can be held responsible for what comes out of my mouth when I get to episode 8. I'm going to be real with you. So Soul and, what's his name? Forehead, they get inside the Coven's, stone fortress, and he can just, like, use the Force to sense conversations now, which at literally no other time in the show has he ever done this, when it's always been something the Jedi can do. It's just that for the other 6 fucking episodes, Soul doesn't do this until now. Why doesn't he do this more often? So then we get the scene of May saying that absolutely psychopathic shit about wanting to kill her sister, and then she starts the fire. But then some bullshit happens where we see May's perspective after she starts the fire. She starts freaking out and starts trying to put the fire out by stomping on it. And it's like, no. Now, wait a minute. If she actually did that, right, why was this context never provided by her? Like, ever, whenever somebody accused her of starting a fire, why was this context never provided? Why did she never say, hey, wait a minute, I tried to stop that fire. I tried. It just got out of control. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to start that fire, but I tried to put it out. Like, it'd be simple if she just explained that. I tried to put out the fire. I started it, yeah, but I tried to put it out. I'm sorry. And as you're going to see in episode 8, that kind of like just behaving like a human habit that we as humans have a tendency to do, yeah, the writers don't understand that. So I just have a time code here. I have no idea what it is, but the note I put here was, oh, fuck off. So it must have pissed me off.
Someday those noble intentions you all have will destroy every Jedi in the galaxy.
Oh yeah, no, fuck off. Yeah, fuck off. Absolutely fuck off. So after this, May shows up, right, and she's crying, and instead of using her big girl words, she just says, help me. That could mean anything. Help you with what? Did you, like, have an accident? Like, what does that mean? Mother Coral just fucking decides to just attack Jedi Padawan Forehead. Then Forehead, who is a Padawan and has a yellow lightsaber, which just confirms the yellow lightsaber doesn't fucking mean anything. He like gets ready to attack, and then the most batshit insane part of the fucking show happens, where Mother Anastasia turns into a fucking force demon. Like, her mouth stretch out, she turns into all this black smoke and fucking like just looks all warped and disgusting looking. And then May starts disintegrating, and Soul reactively, you know, at the sight of a fucking force demon manifesting beside him, reasonably attacks, because I've never seen anything like that in Star Wars, so that's how I would have responded. I would have instantly said, oh, hell no. Can't let you live. You too disgusting and disturbing to live. I can't let you live. And then she fucking downright just gaslights Soul and says, I was going to let you go. I was going to let you take OSHA. Like, no, you weren't. Lies. Absolute lies. Like, before she gets stabbed, she says this.
It was foolish to come back here, Jedi.
After she gets stabbed, she says this.
I was going to let OSHA go.
So she gaslit the Jedi. She gaslit them. And then she's surprised she got stabbed. Oh boy. And then the worst part is that the show from here on out is going to pretend as if Soul did something wrong. And it's going to use every stupid trick in the book to try and force you to think that he did something wrong when he didn't. He didn't do anything wrong. Soul did nothing wrong. So May was standing there and saw her mom get stabbed, and she watched her die. And she runs up to her and starts crying over her dead body. And it's like, why did May never mention this? She never mentioned that Soul killed her mother. So that conversation her and OSHA had in episode 5, why did she not drop the bomb and just say, hey, I know it's hard to believe me, but I watched Soul kill our parents. I watched Soul kill our mom. I saw it with my own 2 eyes. Why did she never bring that up? Anyway, Mother Coral's actress was doing too much right here. Run! What the fuck was that? So there's this moment during the fight where like Mother Coral like stuns Soul, but it doesn't look like he's being stunned. So he just stands there and lets Mother Coral just keep hitting him. And it's like the timing is just too off, and he doesn't look like he's dazed enough for it to be believable that he's not responding because he's confused and dazed. So that's the fault of the directing, the choreography, and the acting. So then during the fight, Mother Coral turns into fucking smoke. She just turns into smoke. I got my chest meat out. She just turns into smoke, and like Torben is just like, my mind is fortified, and she's like, no, not you. And then we find out, oh, she took control of the Wookie, the Jedi Wookie. Oh, so we actually get to see the Jedi Wookie fight. So I guess that's something cool. But we've introduced mind control. That could be a problem. And then second, throughout most of the fight, the Jedi Wookiee just uses the lightsaber like a bat. He's just doing like this over and over again. He's not really fighting. He's not using it doesn't seem like he's using a specific, style. He's just hitting people like he's holding a bat, But I'm not really a choreography guy, so maybe there is some Jedi, lightsaber stance that I'm not aware of where you just hit him like it's a bat. Maybe it's out there. I don't fucking know. Ask Star Wars Theory. So during the fight, like Jedi Master Wookie just starts like bodying Padawan Forehead, and Padawan Forehead dead ass like holds his own way better than he really should have. He did a lot better than Jedi Knight Yord, where he stood his ground against a Jedi, not only a Jedi Master but a Wookie. I don't know what these Padawans are on, but like British X-23 and Padawan Forehead, these are some of the most skilled Padawans I've ever seen. mind you, probably like no more than like a year ago, they weren't trusted to use they weren't trusted to use lightsabers because they'd probably cut their own dicks off. There's a bug on my mic. Get out of here. Get out of here, buddy. All right, so Master Trinity shows up, and she just like places her hand on Jedi Master Wookie's head and erases the mind control. And oh, I forgot. Master Wookie hitting Torben in the face is the reason why he has that fucked up scar, which someone pointed out on Twitter that the scars don't actually, like the wounds don't match up. You know, they, like, as Disney has a tendency to move scars around and overall just be inconsistent about their placement as a lack of attention to detail. But he gets hit in the face by Jedi Master Wookie, and that's why he has that scar on his face. But Master Trinity just places her hand on Jedi Wookie's head, and I forgot to mention, there's like a whole room of witches all like doing this kumbaya thing where they're like swaying together and shit, and they're like humming and shit, like while they're fucking like, you know, burning incense and shit and being weird as they're controlling. I guess they're all controlling Jedi Master Wookie, because then Trinity places her hand on his forehead and they all fucking just die. All like fucking 20 of them just flop to the floor dead. I have no idea what the fuck happened. Why did it require all 20-something of them to control this Wookiee? And why, when Trinity severed the connection, did all 25 of them fucking die? And then the show has the audacity to act like she did that shit on purpose. Like she knew that that 25 witches were connected to Wi-Fi and trying to use this dude like a Bluetooth controller. Like she was supposed to know. Like she was just supposed to know. This bug is really distracting me. Get out of here. I don't know where it came from. It just showed up. This is when we start getting into some very deceptive editing, right? Where in episode 3, if you recall, when May and OSHA fell, Soul wasn't in the room. He was running into the room as they were falling. So when he in episode 7, he runs into the room and they're all the girls are already on the catwalks, and as they're about to fall, he uses the Force, and it's like, you weren't in episode 3. You weren't in the room. They deceptively like warped and edited things to make things like work for the story they wanted to tell, when in reality it doesn't line up with what was previously established. So not only that, Soul decides, instead of using the Force on these little girls that probably weigh like 45, 50 pounds, maybe 60 pounds at the most, he decides, I'm going to use the Force to hold up these metal catwalks. Why? Why not just use the Force on these much smaller, much lighter girls? What are you doing? I turned the mic off. Hold on. Yeah, my mic has like a tap to mute feature, so if I tap and then I'll tap it and you can hear what I'm saying. It's actually pretty cool. And then what's crazy is that in terms of like the deceptive editing, that scene of Soul entering the area with the catwalk that's broken, in episode 3 it's like really quick, but in episode 7 it's like twice or 3 times the length of the original scene in episode 3. So I'll have to, once I get into the editing room in the editor, I'm gonna play them side by side and really give you like a hard number for how much longer the episode 7 scene is. So this is when they started to assassinate Soul's character, is that he's holding up the catwalks with the Force and he can't really do it. And instead of just quickly switching to the 2 girls using the Force, he decides, I'm just going to let May fall to her fucking death. Up until this episode, Soul was like the best character in this show. Why they decided to assassinate him, I have no fucking clue, but it gets worse. And so here is Here's the problem with making that scene twice as long in episode 7 than it was in episode 3, is that May and OSHA were like yelling at each other while they're trying to use the Force to hold each other up. And because they doubled or tripled the length of the scene, it's like the catwalk stayed up for a very long time. So why are they just screaming at each other? They should have looked down and realized, oh, the catwalk's not falling. We need to get out of here. And then on top of that, Soul, instead of screaming, May, OSHA, run, right? Instead of using his big boy words, he just strains like he's like trying to hold in a shit. And it's just like, it's manufactured. It's all bullshit to get to a conclusion that the writer and director wants. So then they go back to the ship. The Jedis go back to the ship, and Forehead apologizes or something, and it's like, yeah, this is basically your fault, bro. Like, this entire situation happened because you were homesick and your little tummy hurt. Like, fucking sad, just absolutely fucking ridiculous. And besides, I thought Jedi weren't supposed to have an attachment, so why does he have an attachment to Coruscant? So then Master Trinity says, we'll tell the council the truth. Trademark. Where she creates a cover story. When the reality is that, like, if you would have just told them what actually happened, they'd be like, damn, you were in the right. Nothing fucking happened. Shit. Kind of sucks you went through that, man. But you guys are cleared of all charges. Get the fuck out of here, right? Like, let me explain it, right? This is what they should have said to the Jedi Council, and they would have been absolved. So we went to this planet, right, where there's a coven of weird lesbian Force witches, and they were training in the arts of the occult and having rituals with the two moons, and they brought in a child into their coven, did some weird ritual on her, that she has a tattoo on her forehead, right? And then when we tried to confront them about it, one of them turned into a fucking Force demon, and I killed her because I ain't never seen no shit like that. So I had to kill her. That shit scared me. I'm sorry, but it was scary. And then they mind controlled Jedi Master Kelnaka, and he beat the shit out of my Padawan. But I tapped into his head, turned off the Wi-Fi, and the other witches that were connected, I didn't know they were connected to the Wi-Fi, so they died, and I didn't mean to kill them. Like, at that point, it's just like, well, yeah, that kind of sucks. Well, I guess I'll see you guys tomorrow, same time, same place. You know, like, if they would have just told the truth, I think they would have been fine, to be completely honest. But it is kind of shocking how the first thing these Jedi decide to do is always just straight up lie to the fucking council. Why is that always the first thing that you choose to do? So these are my after episode thoughts that I had. I said the editing in these 2 episodes were so fucking deceitful. Scenes from episode 3 are cut down scenes from episode 7, and the timing of everything gets warped to lead to a contrived conclusion. And then they really tried to push to make Saul look as unreasonable and illogical as possible. When he just comes, when you're a normal person, not in Hollywood, and not used to grooming people to have sex with your disgusting fucking boss, you're making someone that looks normal and looks like they're trying to do good. Oh yeah, he's fucked up and weird. These people in Hollywood don't understand how to write people anymore. It's weird. So I made spoiler alert, I made an incorrect prediction about Mother Coral being the Sith Master behind Khmer. She's not. I guess she really did just fucking die in this episode. We never saw her body. Okay. And then just the cherry on top of this. This is one of those moments I said earlier where I just don't have any words. I do not have any words. In the credit sequence, they play contemporary pop music. Like, I'm talking about like some shit you'd hear on the radio. What happened? What happened to Star Wars? Like, and it's easy to just say, oh yeah, George Lucas sold it to Disney and Kathleen Kennedy this, that, yep. No, like, I need to know specifics. What happened to Star Wars? How did it get here? Where it is just objectively a female brand at this point. Next episode. All right. Finally. It's all about to end. I just saw this episode today, so this shit is fresh in my mind, bro. So the episode starts with back in the present day where OSHA has Smilo Ren's helmet on, right? And while she's in there, she just has a fucking asthma attack and like uses the fucking force to see the future or some shit. And fucking Kamir, he gets the black eyes that Jedi Padawan Torben had in the previous episode. And they're not going to explain how the fuck that happened. Where she saw the future and like just had like a premonition or some shit like Anakin had in episode 2. No, episode 3, my bad. Or he saw Padme dying. So then fucking we go to Soul's ship. Soul has May like handcuffed on the bed and he's talking to her. And I guess, you know, the previous episode was him explaining his side of the story to May, which that's not the person that needed to hear that side of the story. That was OSHA that needed to hear that side of the story because May was fucking there, but whatever. Mind you, episode 7, did you notice that like the only new things that we learned in episode 7 was Soul killed Mother Anastasia, Torben was homesick, and Soul chose for OSHA to die. Not OSHA. Soul chose for May to die. That's all we learned in that episode. That was really relevant to anything else the fuck we saw. It was like, oh, it's a convergence in the Force. You guys were born from the Force. No fucking shit. We knew that since episode 3. That's not new information. Remember, I carried them. I created them. We knew this already. That's not new information. Do you like that? That looks like a drink. A very delicious like drink. It's got blue and pink. Blue and red. That's a nice color. I like that. It looks nice. So Soul has May strapped to this bed, and Soul let her keep the fucking pip droid. What is wrong with you people? Why do you keep doing this? Why do you keep having prisoners locked up, but they keep their fucking tech? Why do you keep letting them have their shit that allows them to escape? What is this? That's like letting a prisoner keep a lockpick. Why? Letting him keep and then she gets free. Fucking. We'll get to that. I got another note here. Note says May says that the Coven died because of the 4 Jedi, when the reality is that they all died because they mind controlled a Wookie, and Trinity cut the connection, and they all shitted and farted to death because of their Wi-Fi. It was nobody's fault but theirs for connecting to bad Wi-Fi. I told you episode 7 was really fucking bad. It makes everything, every conversation before and after that episode, it just makes it just absolutely just fucking hilarious in hindsight. And then Soul says his biggest regret is that he couldn't save both of them, but it's like, you chose to let May fall to her death. You chose that. I don't know what the fuck you're smoking, but you chose to let that kid die. What do you mean you couldn't? You could have. You just chose to let her die. And then somehow, like, fucking May, after May uses the pip droid to unlock herself, she fucking whips it out, and it's also a stun gun too, so she tases him, and he fucking, and it's like, how does this Jedi Master keep getting fucking ambushed by her? He keeps getting ambushed by this Bush League amateur. What the fuck is this? And then he's chasing her through the ship. He's chasing her through the ship. And we see a little glimpse of the little fucking Gopher man. And oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. What this Gopher man does in the next scene had me wanting to scream at the top of my lungs, bro. I've never been this upset about a TV show in my entire life, bro. Like, what I'm about to tell you in like 5 minutes is gonna blow your fucking mind, all right? After this, May looks at this little switch and she says, the escape pod, but it's in like this ridiculously obvious ADR. I don't know why the fuck it was there.
Escape ship.
So she hops in the escape pod and then she just leaves. And it's like, what the fuck is your plan here? You didn't disable the ship in any capacity. You didn't blow anything up. You didn't hurt Soul in any conceivable way. She just hops into the escape pod thing and then just tells Soul, see you in hell. And then she just leaves. And it's like, what do you mean, see you in hell? You didn't do anything. You just hopped in the escape pod and left.
See you in hell, Jedi.
What the fuck is that scene? What is that? So then May jumps into this escape pod and then flies towards Bryndock, but then she can like actually fly it. Like, you know, usually escape pods, when you get like in Star Wars, when they get in escape pods, they kind of just like, they're just, you know, they're these pods like the name implies, and they just shoot out and they just go to the planet below. Usually they shoot out towards the planet so that the gravitational pull of the planet pulls the escape pod to the planet and keeps them out of the battle, right? This escape pod it's outfitted more like a fighter, where it's got like a steering wheel and a seat and like fucking, it's not really designed to have enough room for multiple people to get into escape. It's just one seat and some controls, and she flies it to like two different planets in the distance. Is this an escape pod or a fighter with no guns? What is this? So then May flies this escape pod into this ring that's around the planet, and she's like, oh, Saul's ship is too big, he won't follow us here. And it's like, bitch, he can just see you. He doesn't have to fly in there to see you. He can fly under you and look up and see you in the fucking ring of this planet. But because this show is written by absolute fucking cephalopod-brained idiots, Saul, of course, is going to fly into the ring like an idiot. Also, so May puts herself in unnecessary danger to try and avoid him. And it, like the asteroids in this, you know, ring around the planet can completely just obliterate her if she hits one of them that's big enough. And then here's the part. Soul is chasing May, right? And Soul is about to like flip a switch. I think he's about to like shoot her or something, right? I don't know what he's about to do because it was never explained. He's just about to flip a switch, and then the fucking Gopher man just decides to side with May, and he chews on some cables and stops Soul from doing whatever the fuck he was going to do. Why is the Gopher man on May's side? Why? Oh my god. Oh my god. That made no sense. That made no sense, bro. Oh my god. This Gopher man spent the past 4 episodes hunting down May and being the Jedi's ally. And he just turns on the Jedi and helps May for no discernible reason. Oh my god. This shit's making me loud. Why? I don't know how anybody in their right mind could write something like that. It just defies all logic. It defies literally everything we've known about this little retarded Gopher man. Let's move on, because I'm starting to sweat, bro. Like as I wrote here, if I was Soul, I would have learned Force Choke real fucking quick, and I would have choked the shit out of that Gopher man. Like, for real, I would have snapped his fucking neck with the Force, bro. Like, that was just... It's stupefying. I have no other words, bro. Anyway, we go back to Coruscant, and Jedi Padawan Twink is back, and I can't stand his voice. Get him the fuck out of here.
Senator Raincourt's here.
Jedi Padawan... Fuck me. I can't take this anymore, man. Oh! Jedi Padawan Twink tells Discount Nebula that there's a senator waiting for her. She goes to meet the senator, and the senator's like, hey, man, there's a lot of shit going on, and I feel like you're not telling me the fucking truth. What the fuck is going on? And Discount Nebula, instead of obfuscating the truth and not telling him what the fuck is going on, she decides to tell him the fucking truth. Again, forgetting how to be fucking human. I mean, this character's not human, but behave in a very realistic and, lifelike manner. Instead of lying, she fucking told the truth about the fact that a bunch of Jedi fucking died, souls on the loose, and we don't know who the fuck killed them. Why would you tell him that? It's like an AI trying to figure out what the fuck humans think, how the fuck humans think. This shit is absurd. Like, it's an insult to writing. The craft of writing, it is an insult. My head, and like, I'm not even playing, it's not even a bit, I'm not even joking. My head fucking hurts, bro. Like, this shit is making my fucking head hurt. Like, for real. This is bad. Okay, so there is some information in episode 8 that this senator is giving to us in episode, like, that should have been, like, shit we heard, like, a long time ago. I'm just gonna have Isabella play it here.
You don't like me. You think my campaign for an external review of the Jedi is a personal vendetta.
Like, ignoring the ridiculous amounts of, like, blatant exposition, that was information we needed a long fucking time ago. Why are we just getting it in the last episode? And you know damn well we are not getting a second season of this bullshit. So then the senator, like, has another one of these Reddit tier fucking rants about how the Jedi are not good and blah blah blah, and I'm tired of this deconstructionist bullshit, and I'm not entertaining it. I'm not talking about it. Get this shit the fuck out from my screen. I'm done with this shit. The Jedi are good guys. Shut the fuck up. So then Kamir and OSHA leave the planet that they're on to go find May, and in the cave that Kamir was living in, you're not going to believe who the fuck was just chilling in there. Who was just chilling in there. In the darkness, this decrepit fucking hand comes out and wraps its hand around the mountainside. And in the darkness, it's Darth fucking Plagueis. Darth Sidious's master. Just in the darkness, just in this random fucking loser's cave. And I have no idea what the implications of this is supposed to be. Was he Kamir's master? Was he, like, did Kamir know that he was in there? Like, what the fuck was that about? If I found out some stinky alien guy was just chilling in my fucking, like, I have a closet right there that has, like, my motorcycle and tool stuff in there, like my mechanic stuff. If I just found out there was a stinky old alien just standing in there just like fucking groping the side of the wall, I would... That man's getting shot, alright? I refuse to have some stinky old man just chilling in my fucking closet, bro. Like, that's not happening. And Kamir just never mentioned this old man just chilling in here. Like, what the fuck is this? Like, it's key jangling in the highest order that Darth Plagueis is just chilling in some random Asian dude's like cave. Like, what the fuck is this? That was my editing gun, just so we're clear. You know, it sits next to me while I'm editing. But there's just some divine, it is some divine comedy shit that fucking, like, Darth Plagueis' first canon appearance in like a live action Star Wars anything is in this retarded show. Absolutely, just wow. Wow. Amazing. Fucking fantastic. So then Soul lands on Brendok shortly after May crashes. and fucking my immediate thought was, you need to ask the Gopher man why the fuck he did that. Why the fuck did he help May? You need to ask him. But no, of course Soul doesn't ask the Gopher man why he just turned coat out of nowhere. He just doesn't fucking ask. Whatever. So he turns on the transceiver so that Jedi Master Discount Nebula knows his location, and as soon as he steps out of the ship, he just decides, I can sense where people are now. I can sense where people are, despite the fact that he never uses this. He only uses this twice in like the entire series. Why now he decides, oh, I can sense people with the Force now. Fuck you. And I don't even know what the fuck this line means right here, dude. Like, what is this line?
You anticipate a confrontation?
A resolution.
This shit is genuinely frustrating. Like, this shit is frustrating. Like, here's a little bit of trivia. The reason why I didn't decide to cover this the same way that I covered like Echo, another TV show, was because Echo was so fucking bad that I just got tired of dealing with it. And this show is worse than Echo. There was no fucking way I was finna make like a 4-hour long series of videos about this shit. Like, I'm not the little platoon. He's way more patient than I am with this shit. Like, I couldn't do it. I'm struggling with Age of Extinction right now. You think I'm gonna handle this with any more tact? Absolutely not. So then OSHA and Kamir show up on Brendock, and they're in this really strange fighter that has 2 pilot seats. But then OSHA turns off Kamir's power in his seat, and it's like, okay, 2 questions. 1, what kind of fighter allows you to turn off your co-pilot's power? 2, why would Kamir put her on the side that allows her to do that? Why is he not sitting on that side? Third of all, I just realized this. I didn't even put this in my notes. How the fuck did she know how to do that? How did she know, oh yeah, this fucking switch, boom, his power's off, fuck him. I'm driving now. Look at me. Look at me. I'm the captain now. Like, fuck me, man. As I put in my notes here, everyone's got the fucking hardball today, man. This shit's crazy. Everyone's just a big sack of fucking idiot today. I don't know what the fuck they were on. I don't know what they were smoking when they wrote this episode, man. This shit was bizarre. So then Kamir and OSHA get to the elevator to the old, witch coven shit. And OSHA says just this really stupid fucking line. Like, listen to this line.
Getting this elevator operational is the only way in. Unless you want to climb.
The elevator is clearly not the only way in, so what the fuck was the point of this line? Yeah, he can climb. So what was the point of that line? It's not the only way in. So why say this is the only way in unless you want to climb, so it's not the only way in? Mean nothing words do anymore. Oh, fuck. Jesus. So then Soul walks to the destroyed reactor looking for May. Then he's like, oh, I guess she's not here. Then he walks away. And then May climbs up from the edge that Soul was just standing on, and she's huffing and puffing like the big bad wolf. And it's like, how does Soul not fucking hear her? How does Soul not hear all that fucking noise she's making? Like, her breaths are literally echoing all over the cave walls, and Soul doesn't hear it. So then we go back to OSHA and Kamir, and she's like, damn, this shit's taking a while. And then she's like, and then he's like, see ya. And he just fades away, and it's just like, what the fuck? Like, he can just teleport now. But what this really is that this is the beginning of like the worst problem, like one of the biggest problems in this episode, and it's the fact that they were really lazy about how they wanted to like move people around. So we'll talk about it. Let's just get through this because there's a lot of shit I gotta talk about. So Kamir and Soul start fighting. I don't want to talk about it. I don't fucking care. Like, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Fight scenes, right? They don't fucking mean anything to me if I don't care about the characters. You could literally have the coolest, most like ejaculation-inducing fucking fight scene ever spawned by man. But if I don't care about the characters, it doesn't mean anything to me. So all this whiz-bang fucking like, oh, he could split his lightsaber in half and one's a dagger and then the other's a sword. Fucking, oh, Soul flew backwards and it's like the fucking Matrix and fucking, ooh, like fucking, none of that shit matters because I don't care about nobody in this show. So fucking, the fight gets to this point where Khmer, he throws both of his lightsabers. One's a dagger, one's an actual saber. And then he's rushing at Soul because he's about to punch him for some fucking reason. And Soul whips out this fucking area of effect move that repulses everything away from him. And it's like, might have been useful back in episode 5 in that forest fight. Maybe. Don't know why you whipped it out and used it now, but them's the breaks, kid. Them's the breaks. So then OSHA and May meet each other in their old childhood room, and Amanda's acting is so bad. She's trying so hard in this scene.
All of this death. Everything that happened here. All because you didn't want me to become a Jedi.
Here's a bit of advice that I learned from a theater teacher I used to have way back in the day, is that the goal is not to express an emotion. The goal is to make the person you're acting against feel a certain way. So say, for instance, you want the person you're acting against or towards, you want them to feel like a piece of shit. Use that energy. Don't be like, I'm going to pretend I'm angry. No. You want it to be so that you want them to feel like a piece of shit. And that you channel that mindset through your acting. Amanda is doing the first thing where she's like, my cue is to be angry in this scene, so I'm going to be angry. And that's not how you act, according to my theater teacher. Man, that was almost 10 years ago, dude. That was a long time ago, bro. So then in this scene, May finally decides to tell OSHA the truth that Soul killed their mother. And it's like, again, why did you wait this long to tell OSHA the truth? Could have told her an episode. You could have told her that fucking 3 episodes ago. Why'd you wait until now? So then OSHA and May get into a fight because OSHA starts screaming like she's got the tism. And here's something that like female writers and actresses need to start getting through their heads. Anger does not always need to come through by screeching like a fucking banshee. Like, sometimes anger comes through in a silent simmer. It's silent, and you like, there are some times where you see a character and they're just dead silent, and you're like, oh, you know that man is pissed, right? And if you've ever read my books, you understand that's actually my favorite way to write an angry character, is just have them be silent. That's like my favorite way to write an angry character. But it's something you notice with Rey as well, is that like whenever she starts fighting and she's like trying to show you that she means business or she's angry or something, she just starts screeching. It's such a tismy response in a fight. Like you come across as the weird kid in like grade school that whenever they got into a fight, they just start screeching. Nah, bro, it's not it. It's not it at all. So then during both fights that are happening at the same time, which neither of them are really good, to be completely honest, but during the parallel fights, the ship that has Jedi Master Discount Nebula and a bunch of other Jedi on it, they're arriving, and once May and OSHA see that they arrive, they both look up. There's conveniently a hole in the ceiling of their childhood room, and OSHA looks up, and then she looks down, and May is just gone. And they're doing the shit again, where May left the room without OSHA noticing somehow. She should have. This is when I noticed the problem, but I'm gonna get to it later, because it gets absolutely off the fucking wall insane with Khmer later in this episode. But this is the point where I kind of just said, what the fuck are any of these characters at this point? Like, what are these characters? What are they doing? Why are we watching these characters? And I saw a post on Twitter. that they pointed out that, like, we're going into the final episode of this series, and we don't know who the main character is. Who is the main character of this series? So then, during Soul and Kamir's fight, Soul somehow defeats Kamir. He slices his lightsaber in half, like samurai style, and fucking, like, he has him dead to rights, lightsaber to his neck. He's about to kill him. May somehow swoops in, disarms Soul, and has his lightsaber. How the fuck did she do that? So then Kamir's like, ah, yes, good, my apprentice. You have done well. Now strike him down. Like, oh, time out. Whoa. Episode 5, you basically renounced this woman and said, I'm a fucking killer because she betrayed me. Like, why are you suddenly giving her dark side lessons now?
Good, May. Feel your anger.
Like, you wanted her dead 3 episodes ago. Why are you coaching her like Darth Sidious now? Oh my god, I got a whole page of notes. Jesus. Then fucking May says, you know what? No, I'm not killing him. She tosses the lightsaber. It kind of breaks, by the way. Important for something that happens later. She tosses his lightsaber, and she's like, no, I think he should face the council and face the long arm of the law. It's like, bitch, you're going to prison too. What the fuck are you talking about? And then, as I said for the previous episode, anyone with 2 brain cells to rub together, they're gonna hear Soul's side of the story and be like, oh, well, yeah, that sounds like you did a good job. Okay, you're fine. We're gonna drop your charges. See you tomorrow. Like, and then Soul explains the nature of OSHA and May's birth. He's like, oh, you two weren't born normally. You were born through the Force. And May sits there and acts like it's shocking. And it's like, anybody who understands human biology was not surprised by that. Oh, I had 2 moms. So then May's like, I want you to confess that you killed my mom. And Soul is like, yeah, I did. It's like, I thought I was doing the right thing, and fucking like, and like the show likes to pretend as if there isn't a mountain of context as to why he killed Anastasia. Like, as if the show just forgets she turned into a fucking Force demon, a Force specter that was about to eat her child. And I forgot, Leslie Headland actually said she believes, which is like, motherfucker, you run the show. What do you mean you believe? You made this shit. But she's like, she believes that Anastasia was converting herself and May into the Force. And it's like, so she was going to make her child and herself one with the Force, i.e., she was going to kill herself and her own fucking child. So Soul was right to kill Anastasia. She was going to commit a murder-suicide. So then, what's her name? Fucking OSHA is like, why didn't you tell the council? And then Soul gives a completely incorrect answer.
If it was the right thing to do, why didn't you tell the Jedi?
Without May, there was no proof you were created in this way.
When the correct answer is, oh, Jedi Master Endara told us not to tell the council the truth. I wanted to tell the truth, but she told us not to. That's the correct answer. And then, fucking OSHA with Amanda's horrible acting starts fucking telling him to stop talking. And he keeps trying to, like, tell her, like, the truth and how he's sorry. And then she starts force choking him.
Stop talking.
I gave the show props in episode 1 for OSHA not being immediately proficient in the Force after being dormant for several, like, years, a decade and a half, basically. And then, no, she was dormant for about a decade, a little under a decade. And then she just whips out a fucking Force choke. So just fuck me, I guess. Just fuck me. Fuck me, I guess. I don't know. I gave you credit for something and you just decided to spit in my fucking face. But I think it's unmitigated bullshit that like fucking, oh, this is basically the origin of the Force choke, basically. Like, get the fuck out of here. And now with Soul's death, OSHA killed Soul. Fucking with Soul's death, conveniently, the Council don't know that a Sith is out there waiting to attack. Conveniently. How fucking convenient that Soul, instead of telling the fucking Council in episode 6 that a Sith is back, he just leaves and doesn't tell him, and then he dies, and now the Jedi are at risk. So essentially, Order 66 happened because Soul was being a fucking idiot. That's really wild to think about. One random Jedi Master about 60-something years prior to the episodes of The Phantom Menace. His stupid fucking decisions are the reason why the Jedi faced a religious genocide. That's something to think about, isn't it? The show does something I actually want to talk about that's not completely negative. So OSHA picks up, like, she had Soul's lightsaber, and her pure hatred, like, converted the kyber crystal within it from blue to red, which is the process of bleeding a kyber crystal, which is what makes a lightsaber red for the Sith, right? Star Wars Theory points out that it takes a lot more than that, but for this, just talking about the concept of OSHA killing her master and then, like, turning his blue lightsaber red, that's a good concept, but it's a concept that deserves to be in a better fucking show. So then Discount Nebula shows up, and then she senses Kamir, and Kamir throws his helmet on real quick to stop her from sensing him, and she's like all anxious and shit, and it basically confirms that the theory that Kamir was, what's her name, Discount Nebula's fucking old Padawan, basically. Oh my god, I have so many notes. This shit is so ass. So then Kamir disappears again. She disappears. I'm gonna talk about it. This show is so fucking lazy about where characters are because they don't care to, like, figure out a way to logically move characters from one place to another. I want to bring up a metaphor that Mahler brought up at the beginning of his Last Jedi analysis, is that the director has a chessboard, right? And instead of playing the chess game logically and moving the pieces the way they're supposed to move, instead, the director of this show just moves the pieces wherever the fuck she wants them, regardless of if the pieces are supposed to move that way. That's what's happening in this episode every time a character just fucking disappears. They literally despawn only to respawn where they need to be. Fucking logic, physics, and logistics be damned. Like, it just doesn't make any fucking sense. And I wanted to, like, I was genuinely going to start coping and be like, oh, maybe he has forced teleport or some shit. But May can do it too. So, and don't even get me, oh, maybe she's powerful enough to do it. Clearly, OSHA's more powerful in the Force than May is. Clearly. And then they go inside, the Jedi go inside the perimeter, and then Discount Nebula sees Soul is dead. So she sends only 2 Jedi to search the perimeter, and then the others go out to, like, I think she said 50 clicks outside to search, and it's like, why only 2 Jedi to search this big-ass fortress? Why only 2? Maybe 5? Especially if there's somebody in here that's strong enough to kill a Jedi, maybe. There's this scene when May and OSHA get to the Bunta tree, the tree with the yellow shit on it. Fucking, they both apologize to each other, and OSHA says, "I'm sorry, I didn't believe you," and then May says, "I'm sorry, I started that fire." And all I gotta say is, May, you're a fucking crackhead, dude. And then this is where we got into some territory that Echo started doing, like Echo did, where like these characters are kind of written less like sisters and more like lesbian lovers, where like instead of them acting like sisters, like May is holding OSHA's face like she's about to kiss her and shit, and it's like, oh, are you guys gonna kiss or what? What the fuck is this? Like, why are they so fucking close? Like, can you guys write siblings like normal fucking siblings instead of with this gay undertone? Y'all did the same thing with Bonnie and Maya. It's really fucking weird. Like, it's a weird reoccurring trend that I've noticed. And then, of course, Kamir shows up. I guess he can just fucking teleport, because I didn't mention this, but he was watching Discount Nebula earlier, and then he just disappears, and then he reappears here, and then he's just like, oh, if I can find you this easily, then the Jedi sure can. And it's like, so you could just teleport, I guess. Fucking moving chess pieces, like I said. And then this sequence really just left a really bad taste in my mouth. Is that like, it really, like, so there's a sequence where May chooses to do this sacrifice where she's like, I'll stay and let the Jedi capture me so you two can escape. And then Kamir's like, I'll wipe your memory so that they can't find us. And it's really like displayed in this way that implies that the bad guys are the good guys. And I don't like it. It's really gross.
We'll explain what Soul did. They'll have to...
Even after everything, you put your faith in the Jedi. OSHA, when they find out how powerful you are...
You will meet the same fate as our mother. What do we do? What do you want, OSHA?
Because, mind you, Kamir slaughtered like a dozen people. May killed 3 people. And threatened to kill a lot more. OSHA killed Soul, right? They're all fucking murderers. And they just get to... Like, OSHA and Kamir just get to walk away free. And then we'll get to it later. May gets to basically walk away free because she gets her memories wiped, so she can't really be... Like, basically, it's an insanity plea where it's like she doesn't remember anything, so she can't be tried, right? Like, fucking... This show's fucking disgusting. And then I guess this is how they got out of the Sith conundrum, is that fucking Soul dies, so he can't tell anybody about the Sith, and then Kamir wipes May's memory, and fucking she just forgets everything she went through over the past fucking 16 years. Yes, literally, she forgets everything that happened over 16 years. And then fucking nobody knows that the Sith are back. Nobody knows that the Sith are back. That's just it. This show's fucking stupid, bro. Where did Kamir get those memory wiping powers? Where'd that come from? Now that you think about it, instead of killing all the Jedi, why didn't he just memory wipe all of them? So that they didn't see his fucking face. Put the helmet back on, memory wipe everyone, and then they didn't see your face and you could just leave. I forgot to mention, the fucking OSHA ends up becoming the Acolyte because she was the one that ended up killing Soul without a weapon, right? That was the payoff for the whole kill a Jedi without a weapon, was that, you know, OSHA would be the one to do it, and she trades place with May and becomes Kamir's apprentice, and she becomes the Acolyte, right? Because she's the one that killed a Jedi without a weapon. And then fucking like OSHA's like, I want to say my goodbyes before you wipe her memory, and then she hugs May, and then now they actually give a shit about each other. OSHA fucking hated May like a day ago. Like, what the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? Like OSHA and May, all the characters are a mess, but OSHA and May are genuinely incorrigible. They are some of the worst characters I've come across in fiction in a long time. Like, I'm talking about, like, they are worse than Tessa from Age of Extinction, dude. They are so, like, ridiculously inconsistent, dude. They are really bad. Because, like Tessa in Age of Extinction, she's just a bitch, right? She's a horrible character, but she's not inconsistent. She's just consistently a bitch. OSHA and May are inconsistent ass characters. Not inconsistent ass characters. No, inconsistent, ass characters. But there is one little neat moment where fucking Kamir, like, says, "Oh, you want to be my my acolyte? All right, cool. Here's your lightsaber." And when she's handing the lightsaber to her, he has the business end pointing to himself to test to test OSHA to see if she's really serious. And she grabs the lightsaber and doesn't kill him. She could have killed him, but didn't. So it shows that she's serious about it. So I guess that's a pretty neat little moment. But when this show is basically like dead on arrival, like, I can't, like, my praise doesn't really fucking mean anything at this point. So then May and OSHA hug each other and they like do their little stupid ass rhyme from the 3rd episode, and fucking they're doing all this boo-hooing and shit. And it's like, I don't fucking care. Turn this shit off. Nobody fucking cares about these two stupid ass characters. They're trying so hard to make me care by having these characters loudly cry into the fucking boom mic and shit. Like, shut the fuck up. Nobody cares. You're not getting a second season. This is where your story ends. Shut the fuck up. So then May gets taken to the Jedi Council. Not a council, the Jedi Temple. She goes into fucking, I guess Discount Nebula is kind of like the corrupt police chief. And she goes into like Discount Nebula's office. She has a fucking office. And she says Master Soul did a terrible thing. No, he didn't. That shit was justified. But the reason why she said he did a terrible thing is because she's about to throw him under the fucking bus, bro. She just straight up says, "Oh yeah, no, Master Soul, like, a bunch of Jedi were killed, and it was Master Soul because he was trying to cover up what the fuck happened on Brendok, right?" And then, like, she even, oh my god, this shit was disgusting when I realized it later on. She even goes to the point of, like, painting Soul as, like, a kitty diddler.
He justified every selfish step with the love he had for your sister.
They legitimately painted Soul as a man who likes playground citizens, if you catch what I'm saying. What the fuck happened to Star Wars, bro? Because the thing is that never did I think that Soul, like, yeah, he did say that he loved OSHA, but never did I think that Soul loved OSHA in that way, you know? Every time he showed care for OSHA, I always thought it was like a father-daughter kind of thing, you know? Like a parental thing. Never did I think that. And the show just decided, we're going to paint it that way. I'm about to, like, here's what I'm going to do. When I finish this rant, I'm going to cook a steak. I'm going to eat it. And then I'm going to fucking sleep. The one character that, like, I kind of liked, they just decided we're just going to fucking fuck him up. We're going to assassinate him in the final 2 episodes. We're going to fuck him all the way up. This shit's a crying shame, dude. And then, of course, at the end, because they don't do post-credit scenes, fucking, they have Discount Nebula show up and walks into this room, and we get the back of Yoda's fucking head. And it's like, great. Fantastic. We've now implicated Yoda in this mess. The motherfucker that confirmed in episode 3 he can sense when a bunch of people fucking die. So good luck trying to convince me that this motherfucker didn't know anything when he sensed when Order 66 happened. Good luck convincing me that Master Indara's death, Jedi Master Forehead, Jedi Master Kelnaka, Jedi Master Soul, and all the motherfuckers that died on that forest planet where the Wookiee Jedi was, good luck convincing me that Master Yoda didn't know any of that shit was going down at any point during these 8 episodes. How the fuck... Y'all really tried to ruin Yoda a second time. Y'all really tried to ruin Yoda a second time. First in The Last Jedi, and now in this show. This show's fucking disgusting, dude. It's disgusting. This show's just fucking disgusting. Like, it's a show that romanticizes its villains, and it shits all over its heroes. It's disgusting. These, the agenda behind the show is so fucking disgusting. It's so obvious. It's to paint the Jedi as corrupt cops that hide when their officers, do bad things, protect their bad officers, And then the people that are willing to stand up to it, and by any means necessary, they're the good guys. They're the real heroes. Despite the fact that they've killed more people than the Jedi ever have. In this show, at least, mind you, in this show. And then all the fucking scathing fucking Reddit tier fucking rants and screeds and tismy fucking bullshit about that the characters go on. We had not one, but two characters go on these Reddit tier rants about the Jedi and how they hate the fact that the Jedi stand for good and balance. The people behind the show are fucking disgusting. Figuratively and literally, in Leslie Headland's case, given her fucking resume. These goblins behind the show never need to touch pen and paper ever again. You should honestly be delegated to a warehouse job with FedEx for the rest of your fucking career after these 8 episodes of dog shit. Of absolute moose fecal matter, bro. I can't drink anymore, bro. I cannot drink to numb the fucking frustration I have for this fucking show. I can't drink anymore. I can't run away from this shit with alcohol anymore. The people defending the show always do the tried and true fucking, it's glub shitto. Fucking, look, it's Darth Plagueis. You guys need to do better because the show finally gave us Darth Plagueis. So I don't get why you guys don't love this show. It's got Darth Plagueis. It's got Yoda. It's got Ki-Adi-Mundi. It's got all the stuff you like. How come you don't like this show? It's so cool, man. This is it? This is enough for you to fucking clap like a fucking seal? The back of Yoda's head and some stinky old alien with his fucking crusty fingers on a rock in the shadows. Fucking Ki-Adi-Mundi showing up when he's fucking not supposed to be alive yet. I don't give a fuck what Wikipedia says. They changed that shit just to fit the show's narrative. Fuck you, Wikipedia. Unquestioningly following this fucking show when it doesn't make any goddamn sense. Fuck you. Fuck you. Don't care. I don't care. Fuck you. I'm not Star Wars Theory. I'm not finna fucking be at peace with you, bro. No, fuck you. No, just because the back of Yoda's head showed up and Darth Plagueis made his first live action appearance does not save this show from the bullshit that we just watched. Let's run down the list of characters and really just show you how shitty all of these characters are. OSHA doesn't commit to a goddamn thing, and at the end of the show, she finally commits, but she commits to the fucking dark side. She can't commit to being a witch and honoring her family. She can't commit to being a Jedi and bringing balance and order to the galaxy, but she can commit to being a dark side cocksucker. Almost literally. Because she's fucking, I think it's confirmed that Leslie Headland said that it's a romance between her and Kamir. And then May is such a confused fucking character. I don't know why she's even in the show, because her motives flip and change and rearrange at a moment's notice. Where she's like, I'm gonna kill all the Jedi. I'm gonna turn myself into the Jedi. I'm gonna beat the shit out of Padawan, British X-23. I'm gonna run away from the dark side guy. And now I'm gonna kill Sol. And then I'm going to run away from Sol. Then I'm going to kill Sol. Then I'm going to fight OSHA. Then I'm going to kill Sol. And then I'm going to sacrifice myself to the fucking Jedi at the end for my sister that's hated me since fucking the age of 12. Kamir, fucking edgelord supreme, worse than Shadow the Hedgehog. I don't even know what to say about him, dude. Just fucking, oh, I'm gonna kill everybody in this forest because they've seen my face. But I also have a memory wipe power that can erase everyone's fucking memories. I could just erase everyone's memories and walk the fuck away. I'm also gonna put this person that doesn't 100% trust me into the cockpit of my ship and put her on the side that can control the fucking power on my side of the ship. Master Trinity fucking escaping fucking accountability because fucking we can't let the Jedi Council know that we came across some witches and we accidentally fucking killed all of them. But in all honesty, it was in self-defense. But we can't tell them we killed them because, you know, we just can't. Fucking Wookie, the Wookie Jedi is literally the only character that comes out of this show unfucking scathed. I have nothing negative to say about him. He kind of just reminds me of a dog. And I just want to pet him. He seems cool, you know. Jedi Master Forehead, fucking, oh my goodness, dude. Fucking, this character was like, oh, I'm a Padawan. I haven't been to Coruscant in weeks. And then, I don't like Jedi Master Wookiee's cooking. I want to go home. I'm homesick and my tummy hurts. Oh, these two girls show that there's evidence that there's a virgins on the Force. Oh, fuck. I'm going to go kidnap two girls and take them to Coruscant. And then fucking in the future, I'm going to take a vow of silence and meditate for fucking 10 years. Somehow not needing to shit, piss, or eat for 10 years. And then fucking when the child I was going to fucking abduct shows up one day and offers a solution for me to fucking kill myself, I take it and I tell her, you know what I tell her? I thought we were doing the right thing. Motherfucker, you were homesick. There was nothing about, I thought we were doing the right thing. You didn't fucking care about doing the right thing. You were homesick. And that's why you wanted to kidnap two children, bro. And then Soul, fucking idiot boy, fucking just decided, oh, I'm not going to tell OSHA the truth at all. I'm not going to tell her anything. Not only am I going to hide the truth from her for fucking 16 years, I'm also not going to tell her that somebody told me not to tell her the truth. I'm also not going to tell her that her mom turned into a fucking Force demon and I had to kill her because I didn't know what the fuck she was doing. I thought she was going to eat your sister. So I killed her to save your sister. I didn't know what was happening. I had like 2 milliseconds to react, bro. Give me some fucking credit here. But nah, Saul just decides to be a fucking idiot. Oh, I knew that the Sith were back and I just didn't tell the fucking Jedi. Didn't tell the Council that the Sith are back. Fuck it. They'll be fine. I'm sure. It's not like the fucking Chancellor in 50 years is gonna secretly be a Sith, and we could have detected him if we just fucking knew that the Sith were back and we knew what to look for, you know. And then all the Jedi getting fucking killed, you know. That's just preposterous. Not gonna happen. Totally not gonna happen, bro. And then the fucking Gopher. I don't know how the fuck you ruined the Gopher. You ruined the Gopher, man. He just decides, I'm going to help May now. Out of nowhere. Fuck Soul. Where did that come from? And then fucking Discount Nebula, Master Venestra, she lacks all accountability just like Master Trinity, where she says, oh, yeah, no, this was totally my fuck up, but I'm going to bury it. I'm going to completely fucking bury it and not tell anyone. I'm going to lie to the fucking Senate to try and avoid getting investigated by the Senate. But no, you're still going to get investigated. Get the fuck out of here. Because a lot of Jedi fucking died on your watch, lady. And speaking of which, what the fuck is her position in the Jedi Order? What is her position? What is her position? Is she over, secret affairs? Or, is she the chief? What is she? What is her title? Her place in the Jedi Order is really confusing. And then there's Jedi Padawan Twink. Shut the fuck up. Yord. His beef with OSHA was completely just abandoned. He gets his neck snapped like a Rice Krispie treat. Fucking completely out of the fucking equation after episode 5. They don't even mention his fucking name after episode 5, dude. Then British X-23, Jackie. I don't know what the fuck the point of her character was. She literally has no impact on the story after episode 5. After she dies, it's just like, oh. The biggest impact she has is that she knocked off Kamir's mask. That's it. Also, correction, I said she punched the mask. She hit it with the hilt of her lightsaber. That's actually what happened, but still. And then Ki-Adi-Mundi. Why the fuck was he even here? Like, a lot of people were coping on Twitter saying, oh, they used Ki-Adi-Mundi for a specific reason. They had to have used him for a specific reason because of the line, he's got to be here for some reason. He was here for no reason. He was just in episode 4 for no reason. They didn't bring him back for another, like, for any other, like, fucking, like, reason. He was just in episode 4 to be in episode 4 for... I ain't got no keys right now. But, like, he's just there to dangle some keys in your face. Oh, you remember Ki-Adi-Mundi? Oh, you remember him? Ooh! He doesn't pay... There's no payoff to his inclusion in this show. I think that's it. They fucked up Yoda, like I said. The senator dude is just a mouthpiece for the writer and director's hatred for the Jedi, just like Kamir, and the fact that this show thinks it's gonna get a second season, where we're gonna, I guess the second season we're gonna find out about why Darth Plagueis was hiding in that fucking cave, like what happened between Vernestra and Kamir. But I'm done. I'm done with this show. My head legitimately fucking hurts talking about this show. Like, my right eye, like, this part of my face fucking hurts right now. And I'm done. How long have I talked? Almost 2 hours, dude. I'm done with this show. I'm done. Before I go, did I miss any characters? Let me think. Nope. No, that's all the characters. All right, folks. I'm done. I'm done. It's just depressing. Looking at this shit, knowing that this is what Star Wars is now, it's depressing. It's just wholly unacceptable what this shit is now. That this once great franchise that united generations, that had people like more hyped than like any other franchise, like had people camping out to see The Phantom Menace, is now, this is what it is now. A show where it's more profitable to shit on it than to praise it. People don't even want to watch this shit anymore. They want to watch me shit on it. They want to watch Google. They don't want to watch the show. They want to watch people like me or Az or fucking like Star Wars Theory or Critical Drinker. They want to watch people shit on this show. They want to watch It's a Gundam shit on the show. They don't want to watch the show itself. They want to watch us shit on it for them. It's more entertaining to watch people freak the fuck out over this show. Watch me have a conniption and my eyes about to fucking explode on camera. They'd rather watch that than watch the show. I legitimately, like, and I mean this with all seriousness, I legitimately hope that Star Wars like just stops after this. That Star Wars is deemed a financial fucking failure and Lucasfilm just never makes any more Star Wars. I want Star Wars to be so much of a failure that they don't even think about touching it anymore. I fucking hate Star Wars now, dude. Like, I hate this shit. There hasn't been a single Star Wars project that I've liked since, I guess, Revenge of the Sith. Some episodes of Clone Wars are okay, but they're nowhere near as like engaging as Revenge of the Sith was. It's just depressing. It's genuinely just depressing that this is what this great franchise has turned into. All right, folks, I'm done. If you liked watching my face almost explode from the conniption I almost had, please like, comment, and subscribe. If you want to read a novel from... I'm tired. If you want to read a novel from an indie author, check out my sci-fi military series, Blur Havoc. Link in the description, or check me out on Amazon, or you could just Google my name. And if you'd like, you can support me through affiliate links in the description, or you can support me through Patreon or Subscribestar. If anything, a like and subscription is all I need. So, thank you all for watching. I'm going to take an ibuprofen and I'm going to go to sleep. Should have wore my fucking funeral attire, man. This shit's fucking depressing, dude.